So hello, Tashile, and welcome to everyone. Uh, so we made it. Today is Saka Dawa Duchen, the full moon day of the fourth month in the Tibetan calendar, where we celebrate the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing away into parinirvana. So it's an extremely auspicious day, and it is said that the merits that one accumulates on this day is multiplied by, well, maybe 100 million times, maybe 300 million times. I recently saw it in Nalanda. They just sent something out that said, usually on these Buddha days, it's 100 million times the merit is multiplied. But they were arguing that since it's the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing on into parinirvana, that it would be times 3, so 300 million. So I'm not sure. But in any case, it's a very auspicious day nonetheless. And so, as we said at the beginning, that we were going to do these Tara sessions for every day, the first 15 days of Saka Dawa. And so now, we've reached the 15th day. So, are any of you enlightened this morning, like the Buddha? No? Me either. So then that means we have to keep, practicing and purifying our minds, collecting merit. And no matter how long it takes, right? As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then merit to remain, right? To dispel the suffering of the world. Oh, so now we are joined. Usually I would scold him for coming late, but we have someone who's come, looks like he's in robes. So what is your name now? No name. No name.
No, only cut hair. No, not yet the full ordination. Only.
Oh. Okay. So appearances can be deceptive. Okay, but anyway, it's getting closer. First your hair was cut. Now you're wearing the robes, and then soon you'll have the vows.
Rabjun. Rinpoche said Rabjun. We did Rabjun. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something. Will you take Getsul soon?
Yeah, maybe 2 days.
Okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, something to rejoice about. So in any case, as I was saying, then we need to continue with our practice and purification until we reach the final goal of enlightenment. And then even after we achieve enlightenment, we have to, then it'll be just spontaneous manifestation to benefit sentient beings and alleviate their suffering. So in any case, as many of you know, our sort of direct, explicit goal also in this practice. Hold on, is the lighting okay? Ooh, that's too much. Okay. Was to help the COVID-19 situation across the world, and especially because here now the center that is hosting these events, Root Institute, is in India. And as many of you know, the situation in India has gotten very dire. And but in other countries as well, many countries in South America, also the COVID situation is still not good. And it seems like it will continue to be this way for the foreseeable future. So in any case, in order for the coronavirus and other diseases to be pacified in the world, in order for the war, the other natural disasters and famine, economic problems, unhappy minds, all these things to be pacified in this world and other worlds of the 10 directions, and for the sentient beings to get all of their conducive conditions such that they can quickly achieve enlightenment, then we're going to do this practice here. Okay. So now we will, continue with the green Tara practice. So now, before we start, after we set the motivation, then we visualize all sentient beings in the space around us, and we can think that we are leading them in the practice. So as we do the chanting, then we can think of ourselves as the chant leader, and actually all sentient beings are chanting along with us. So first, I can visualize above the crown of my head, I visualize a lotus and moon disk. Upon these is the great treasure of compassion, Aryatara, mother of all enlightened beings, who is oneness with my kind root guru. My guru is seated in the full lotus position within a transparent bubble of rainbow-colored light, is pink in complexion, and wears saffron robes and a pandit's hat. Her right hand, his right hand, is at his heart in the gesture of teaching the Dharma, and holds a vajra and the stem of a white lotus that blooms beside his right ear. His left hand rests on his hip. It holds a bell and the stem of another white lotus that blooms beside his left ear. And my guru's heart is Aryatara in female aspect, green in color, and seated in dancing posture within a rainbow bubble. Her left leg is bent up, and her right leg is outstretched. Her left hand is at her heart in the mudra, symbolizing the triple gem, and holding the stem of a blue Pali flower. Her right hand extended over her right knee is in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. She is beautifully adorned with jeweled ornaments and scarves, and at her 3 places bears the syllables Om Ah Hum. At her heart is a lotus and moon seed, on which stands a radiant green syllable Tam. Rays of green light radiate in all directions from the Tam and evoke all the enlightened beings of the 10 directions. They're all absorbed into Aryatara and become one. So now we just pause here and clarify that visualization, and especially to think of the significance of Aryatara at our Guru's heart, on the crown of our head. So our Guru is one in nature with all of the Buddhas, not just Tara, but all of the Buddhas. So has all the same enlightened qualities, but appears in this form as a ordinary being in a human body, in accordance with our own karmic disposition. So even, what we're celebrating today, the Buddha manifested enlightenment on this earth all those years ago, and then for the rest of his life, he, would refer to himself as the Tathagata. So he, or the Buddha. So to the ordinary beings at that time, they were able to see the Buddha as the Buddha, and he showed the excellent marks and signs of a Buddha, the Ushnisha, the Dhamma-chakra on the palm, the long earlobes, the treasure curl, the hair between the eyebrows, and so forth. So those are all the signs that exemplify the tremendous merit it takes to achieve enlightenment. And then not only that, but then when the Buddha was asked very subtle questions about the workings of karma, then the Buddha many times revealed the answer, So in that way, we say that the Shakyamuni Buddha showed the enlightened aspect to his disciples. But now our own gurus are not appearing in that aspect, but are appearing just in the ordinary aspect. But that is not because of faults or lack of qualities from their side, but rather from our own side, we don't have the merits. We didn't have the merit to meet with Shakyamuni Buddha. Nonetheless, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas work constantly for all sentient beings, even if they don't have the merit to meet with the Buddhas in more exalted forms. They will then appear in more humble and modest appearances. So now remembering the qualities of our Guru and the kindness for not giving up on us and appearing in this way to guide and teach us, we then make the heartfelt request, please remain above my head until I receive enlightenment. So now we continue with the refuge in bodhicitta. Oops. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, then the 7 limb prayer. First, the limb of prostration. So, we'll continue with the 20 into our praises. So I think many of you know, but this 7 limb prayer you'll see in many of the sadhanas or the practice texts. And it is said that these 7 limbs contain within it everything to purify and collect extensive merit. So here the limb of prostration is a specific antidote to pride, So pride being one of the main obstacles to furthering along the Dharma path. So basically, if you inflate the level of your own qualities, then that will impede you from trying to receive teaching and guidance from others who actually have the qualities that you should be seeking. So now, remembering the qualities of Tara, then we pay homage in this way and sort of make a request as we recite these verses for Tara to bestow on us all of her enlightened qualities of body, speech, and mind. Dalai hecho ne tami jangkule chushin epane gi ulage dusun sange chulema roma koje sheksu so radon lumin chevengi shagi bemo la tute pongpa kunde jozema joma yula chanselo Onjetsu na pama joma la chakselo chasa joma nyama pamo cheni keche lo bandrama jiten sunge shiki shelgi kesa jewa lini juma chasa denge dawa kundu kama gyani chepe shelma kama toba toda nangi rati chewe yarabama Chasu Senu Jini Kegi, Peme Chani Nambagama, Shindu Sundu Kadu Shiva, Sosa Sindin Chiyunima, Chase Dishin Shekri Sudo, Tae Nambagava Chema, Maru Paru Chimba Tobe, Keve Sigi Shindu Dama, Chasa Tudara Yige, Tudan Chodan Nankakama, Jiten Dobo Shagi Nente, Rupa Mepa Rupa Numa, Chache Gege Mela Samba, Luna Lasa Wanchi Chema, Chumbo Rola Disanana, Nichin Zegi Dene Dema, Chache Jeje Jadan Pegi, Paro Tukora Dujam, Yega Yega Yagi Nebe, Mepa Rupa Shindu Vama, Chache Turi Jepa Chembo, Dugi Pao Namba Joma, Chugi Jene Tone Denzi, Kao Tanje Malu Sema, Chase Concho Susa Chagi, Soma Toka Namba Gema, Malu Choki Kolo Gembe, Rangi Yugi Sokna Tuma, Chase Ratu Gawa Jibi, Yugi Yugi Chama Pem, Shepa Dachi Tudara, Tudan Jide Wandu Zema, Chase Sashi Kyonwe Songa, Tanje Gupa Numanima, Chone Yowe Yigi Hundi, Pompa Tanje Nampa Droma, Chase Dawe Dumbu Uge, Gemba Tamshi Shindu Bama, Rebe Treva Reba Mele, Papa Shindu Urab Zema, Chase Kepe Tame Meta, Pari Teme Yona Nema, Yekun Yukun Kone Gorge, Kai Pune Nampa Joma, Chase Sashi Nela Jage, Tigi Nugi Shage Duma, Chone Tinze Yigi Hongi, Rimbo Dobana Nigama, Chase Dama Gama Shima, Nani De Chiyunima, Soyanda Dembe, Dikpa Chembo Joma Nima, Chase Kune Korab Gawe, Chai Lune Nampa Gama, Yigi Chipe Ngage Kebe, Ripa Hune Joma Nima, Chase Ture Shani Debe, Honge Nabe Sabe Nima, Rida Mandara Dan Beje, Jiten Soya Yawanima, Chase Lai Soya Nambe, Rida Chalabane Nama, Tara Nije Pegi Yege, Dona Malu Pani Selma, Chase Lai Soknam Gelbo, Lada Miam Chitema, Kone Gocha Gawa Jige, Soda Milang Yamba Selma, Chase Nima Dawa Gebe, Cheni Pola Urab Selma, Hara Niju Tutarai, Shindu Takpo Dimne Selma, Chase Dini Suna Kebe, Shivi Tedayanda Dema, Tura Rola Nijin Sonam, Chomba Ture Rajonima, Sawe Ngakni Turba Dida, Chase Wani Nishu Saji. Okay, then we continue with this abbreviated praise. So we'll do this 21 times. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo cha se jama tare pamo tu tarai jigun sama tere danan tanjen tema soa ike jera rabdu. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo cha se jama tare pamo tu tarai jigun sama tere danan tanjen tema soa ike jera rabdu. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo cha se jama tare pamo tu tarai jigun sama tere danan tanjen tema soa ike jera rabdu. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo cha se jama tare pamo tu tarai jigun sama tere danan tanjen tema soa ike jera rabdu. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo cha se jama tare pamo tu tarai jigun sama tere danan tanjen tema soa ike jera rabdu. Onje tsuma pama jama la cha se lo Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara, On Jesima, Pama Jamala Chazalo, Chacha Jama Dare Bamo, to Dalai Jiganzama, Tune Donanda Jadama, So Igi Jarara. Okay. So I think many of you by now have that memorized naturally. So very good. Sorry, I have to scroll up again. Okay, so now we continue with the rest of the 7 limb prayer. So next is the limb of offering. So we'll continue with this incense offering here. So some nice agar wood incense. And think that we're offering this now on behalf of all the sentient beings. Om Aham, Om Aham, Om Aham. Okay, so I offer all offerings, both real and imagined. So now, as you know, the real offerings will include the incense we set out here, the water bowls, the lights, whatever offerings you have at your respective altars there, at your respective places, and then all the other students' altars, and then Rinpoche's houses, the different centers and monasteries, all the offerings that have been laid out there. And then the imagined offerings. So now we can imagine not just what we've actually laid out, but multiplying those to pervade the entire universe. So whether it be lights, then the lights filling on each atom in the whole universe, or jewels, incense, music resounding through space. And we can also offer medicine and food, clothing, everything that's needed for sentient beings to promote and sustain life. And then, wish-fulfilling jewels to alleviate the poverty. Basically, everything beautiful that we can imagine and visualize, and just filling the entire universe with all of that, and then offering that to our gurus, inseparable from all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, statues, stupas, and scriptures in the entire universe. And you can think that you're offering this not just once, but many, many, many times, and that your guru, upon receiving the offerings, generates great bliss in his or her mental continuum. Okay, so next the limb of confession. So now, all sins and offenses amassed from beginningless time, I confess. So here again, it's very important to consider from beginningless time all the negative actions that you've done, whether or not you have done them in this life. So all of the 10 non-virtues, killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct, and then lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and gossiping or frivolous talk, and then the minds of covetousness or envy, malice, and holding wrong views. Yeah? So all of those 10 non-virtues, and then the 5 they call it uninterrupted negative karmas, or karmas so heavy that in the very next life, if you've committed them in this life, then you'll immediately, after passing away from this life, be reborn in the hell realms. Then all the 3 types of vows, pratimoksha bodhisattva, and the vajrayana commitments. And then especially also the times when we have disobeyed our guru, disturbed the holy mind, not followed the advice, generated non-devotional thoughts. All of these too, we're also seeing the negative actions as being negative. Then we confess, we admit that we had acted that way in the past, and then we commit ourselves not to do that again in the future. Next, the limb of rejoicing. I rejoice in all virtuous actions of holy and ordinary beings. So here we can do it a little bit different than what we had done in the past. So since it's the day of the Buddha's enlightenment, then we can start off by rejoicing in the Buddhas. So first Shakyamuni Buddha, and thinking of all the virtue he accumulated over the 3 countless great eons, so he could achieve the state of enlightenment. And as you know from his life story, giving away his own body, his life, his body parts, enduring so much hardship so that he could attain enlightenment for us. So think how wonderful, how amazing, how wonderful. And he did all of this because he first motivated by bodhicitta, this mind infused with great compassion, taking the responsibility to alleviate the suffering of all sentient beings. So now we can rejoice in all, not just Shakyamuni Buddha, but all those great beings who have generated this mind of great compassion and bodhicitta. So it includes all the Buddhas, and as well as all the Bodhisattvas. So how wonderful it is, you know, even just for a few seconds, meditating on compassion, so beneficial. So now even to meditate on the ordinary beings like ourselves, you know, even though we don't have the full-fledged realization of bodhicitta or compassion, then, you know, we've all received teachings on bodhicitta. We all have at least tried with some degree of effort to cultivate those minds. So that also is so wonderful. So not only ourselves, but all the other beings, even if they're ordinary, but we rejoice in our own efforts and the efforts of others to try to enter the path, to practice as best we can, to try to, you know, do something beneficial and positive for ourselves and others. So amazing. It's really wonderful. So we also rejoice in our own and other ordinary beings' merits. Okay, so next the limb of requesting the Buddha's remain. Oh, Gurus and Buddhas, please remain until samsara ends. So visualizing offering a throne with a crossed vajra and offering that to our Guru who accepts our request to remain. So it's worth noting, you know, today also is the day that we sort of commemorate the Buddha's passing away into parinirvana. So as I think many of you know, Ananda, the Buddha's disciple, before the Buddha passed away, he was talking with Ananda and sort of gave hints that, you know, since he's already attained the Vajra body, he could remain until the end of the eon. But in order for that to happen, then the disciples have to request the Buddhas to remain. So at that time, Ananda was obscured and did not request the Buddha to remain until the end of the eon. And so the Buddha only lived to be 80 years old. So now it is up to us, you know, whenever we see our gurus, or even if we don't see them directly, to always dedicate and, you know, at least mentally, make this request that our gurus remain and continue to teach us and benefit us. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So the next limb of requesting the turning of the wheel of Dharma. So here we visualize offering a golden Dharma chakra, and that, yeah, not just one, but many, and that also gets absorbed into our Guru, who accepts our request. All my virtues and those of all others I dedicate to the great enlightenment. Okay, limb of dedication. So now the mandala offerings. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with mirror, 4 continents, the sun and moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. And all living beings enjoy this pure land. The obstacles of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Friends, enemies, strangers, and my body, wealth, and enjoyments without any sense of loss I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from 3 poisons. Idam Guru Ramamandala Kamniratayami. Okay, so now the purification meditation. So now we request our Guru, please bless me to purify all obscurations of my body, so I become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. Our Guru accepts our request, and then white light emanates from the Om at Arya Tara's brow and curves in an arc to enter my brow. My body is completely purified of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my speech, so that will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. The Guru accepts our request. Then red light emanates from the Ah at Arya Tara's throat and curves in an arc to enter my throat. My speech is purified completely of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my mind, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. The Guru accepts our request. Then blue light emanates from the Hum at Arya Tara's heart and curves in an arc to enter my heart. My mind is purified of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. Please bless me to purify all delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience, so that my body, speech, and mind will become one with Guru Tara's holy body, speech, and mind. The Guru accepts our request. Now visualize the 3 colored beams emanate simultaneously from the Om, Ah, and Hum syllables, curving in an arc and entering my 3 places, completely purifying all my delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience. My body, speech, and mind become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. My root Guru dissolves into Arya Tara, who melts into green light, which flows into me. Instantly, my wrong conception that I and all other phenomena are self-existent, together with my dualistic mind and its views, disappear, becoming completely empty. Not even a trace of them remains. I concentrate one pointedly in this empty state with a wisdom that is indistinguishably one with Guru Tara's blissful omniscient mind. So here again, we meditate just for a little bit on the meaning of emptiness. And well, here we can think that although all phenomena lack even an atom of inherent existence, then to the obscured, ignorant mind of sentient beings, they appear as being truly existent to the various sense consciousnesses. But in actuality, what appears to the mind doesn't exist in that way. It doesn't exist how it appears. Therefore, it is said it's like an illusion. So we can think that all these appearances are false. And then, if all of these false appearances no longer exist, then we would just be left with the mere lack of inherent existence. So they say if the space like meditation, meditative equipoise, because just as space is characterized by the mere lack of obstructive contact, so too emptiness is characterized by the mere lack of inherent existence. But no positive phenomena is implied in its place. So now your mind that realizes this utter lack of inherent existence then is actually inseparably one with Aryatara's enlightened mind. Okay, so now if you have an initiation, the necessary initiation, then you can think that this very mind of yours, inseparable from Aryatara's enlightened mind, that appears in the aspect of Aryatara. Otherwise, you can visualize Aryatara in the space in front of you. Okay? And yes, my wisdom manifests instantly as Aryatara's holy body seated upon a lotus and moon cushion. At my heart is another lotus and moon, upon which in the center stands the syllable Tam, surrounded in a clockwise direction by the syllables of the mantra Om Tari Tari Turi Soha. The Tam and the mantra are manifestations of Guru Tara's holy mind, with which my mind is totally united. So lastly, we have these three visualizations that we do while we recite the mantra. So first, we visualize the green light radiates from all the letters, spreading in every direction. It purifies the negative karma, ghost delusions, and subtle obscurations to omniscience of all sentient beings who become Tara. So we'll recite for about 6 minutes the mantra. So you can just go through these three visualizations at your own pace. Om Tari Tari Turi So, Om Tari Tari Turi So, Om Tari Tari Turi So, Om Tari Om Tari Tari Turi So, Om Tari Tari. Om Tari Tari Turi So, Om Tari Tari Turi So. Tare tu tare tu so tare. On tare tu so tare. On tare tu so tare. On tare tu so ha. On tare tu so ha. On tare tu. On tare tu so ha. On tare tu so ha. On tare. Om tare tu so ha. Om tare tu so ha. So now just rest in this awareness for a moment, thinking that due to the power of the mantra recitation, the power of the purifying green light, that all sentient beings are now completely purified of all their negative karma, all their obscurations, both liberation and enlightenment. And you yourself, through having absorbed the rain of the enlightened qualities of the body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas, then now your mind stream is completely blessed, and you have attained all of the enlightened qualities of Ayatar. Okay. So dedication. May I quickly become Guru Aryatara and lead each and every sentient being into her enlightened state because of these merits. May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta that has not yet arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Okay, we'll do like we have been doing the past few days. We'll first recite this, the Tantong Gyalpo prayer of liberating Sake from disease. Okay, so I'm sharing it on the screen now. So this prayer also has been highly recommended to help quell the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. So please think, due to all the merit that we've accumulated, not just today, but over the 3 times, so past, present, and future merits, collected by all of us, as well as all the numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas. So due to that merit, may all the diseases of the sentient beings that result from karma and temporary conditions, such as the harms of Grara spirits, illnesses, and the bhutas, not occur in the realms of the world. May whatever sufferings there are from life-threatening diseases that, like a butcher leading out to be slaughtered, separate the body from the mind in a mere instant, not occur in the realms of the world. May all embodied beings be unharmed by acute, chronic, and other epidemic diseases, the mere sounds whose names terrify beings, as though they've been placed inside the mouth of Yama, the Lord of Death. May all embodied beings be unharmed by the 80,000 classes of interferers, the 360 evil spirits that harm suddenly, the 424 diseases, and so forth. May whatever sufferings there are due to disturbances of the 4 elements, depriving the body and mind of every happiness, be totally pacified. And may the body and mind have radiance and power, and be endowed with long life, good health, and love. By the compassion of the Gurus and 3 jewels, by the power of the Dakinis, our protectors and guardians, and by the power of the truth and infallibility of karma and its results, may all these dedications and prayers be fulfilled. Okay. So now we can continue with the King of Prayers. So I think all of you have. So the King of Prayer is the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samarthabhadra. I bow down to thee for Arya Manjushri, ye lions among humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future. In the worlds of 10 directions, swallowed you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, all you Buddhas visualize as real, I bow down. On every atom are Buddhas numberless as atoms, each is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all you want to bliss. Beautiful flowers and beautiful garments, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense I offer to you, victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfume, sandalwood powder, heat, Tajma, Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I bow down and offer to all victorious ones every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion. All these I openly bear before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all the positive potential of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who attain the Buddha's omniscience to the stages of awakening. All you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons as numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever side positive potential I may have created, by paying homage, offering, acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach. I now dedicate all this for full awakening. May you Buddhas now living in the worlds of 10 directions, and all you gone to freedom in the past accept my offerings. May those not yet arisen quickly perfect their minds, awakened as fully enlightened ones. May all worlds in 10 directions be entirely pure and vast. May they be filled with bodhisattvas, surrounding Buddhas gathered beneath the Bodhi tree. May as many beings as exist in 10 directions be always well and happy. May all samsaric beings live in accord with the Dharma, and may every Dharma wish be fulfilled. Remember my past lives and all varieties of existence, and I practice the Bodhisattva way. And thus in each cycle of death, migration, and birth, may I always abandon the householder's life. Then following the footsteps of all the Buddhas, and perfecting the practice of the Bodhisattva, may I always act without error or compromise, with ethical discipline, faultless and pure. May I teach the Dharma in the language of the gods, in every language of spirits and nagas, of humans and of demons, and in the voice of every form of being. May I be gentle-minded, cultivating the 6 paramitas, and never forget bodhicitta. May I completely cleanse without omission every negativity and all that obscures this awakening mind. May I traverse all my lives in the world, free of karma, afflictions, and interfering forces. Just as the lotus blossom is undisturbed by the water's wave, just as the sun and moon move unhindered through the sky, may I ease the suffering in the lower realms and in the many directions and dimensions of the universe. May I guide all wanderers in samsara to the pure bliss of awakening and be of worthy benefit to them as well. May I practice for eons, constantly eons, for eons to come, perfecting the activities of awakening, acting in harmony with the varied dispositions of beings, showing the ways of the Bodhisattva. May I always have the path of those, a friendship of those whose path is like mine, and with body, words, and also mind. May we practice together the same aspirations and activities. May I always meet a spiritual mentor, and never displease that excellent friend who deeply wishes to help me and expertly teaches the Bodhisattva way. May I always directly see the Buddhas, masters encircled by Bodhisattvas, and without pause or discouragement for eons to come, may I make extensive offerings to them. May I hold within me the Buddha's genuine Dharma, illuminate everywhere the teachings that awaken, embody the realizations of a Bodhisattva, and practice ardently in all future eons. While circling through all states of existence, may I become an endless treasure of good qualities, skillful means, wisdom, samadhi, and liberating stabilizations, gathering limitless pristine wisdom and positive potential. On one atom I shall see Buddha fields numbered as atoms, inconceivable Buddhas among Bodhisattvas in every field, practicing the activities of awakening. Perceiving this in all directions, I dive into an ocean of Buddha fields, each an ocean of the 3 times Buddhas in the space of a wisp of a hair, so I too will practice for an ocean of eons. Thus I am continually immersed in the speech of the Buddhas, expression that reveals an ocean of qualities in one word, the completely pure eloquence of all the Buddhas, communication suited to the very tendencies of beings. With strength of understanding I plunge into the infinite enlightened speech of the Dharma of all Buddhas in 3 times gone to freedom, who continually turn the wheel of Dharma methods. I shall experience in one moment such vast activity of all future eons, and I'll enter into all eons in the 3 times in but a fraction of a second. In one instant I shall see all those awakened beings, past, present, and future lying among humans, and with the power of illusion-like stabilization, I will constantly engage in their inconceivable activity. I shall manifest upon one single atom, enter the great pure Buddha direction without exception. I shall enter the presence of all my guides, those lights of this world who are yet to appear, those sequentially turning the wheels of complete awakening, those who revere nirvana, final perfect peace. May I achieve the power of swift magical emanation, the power to lead to the great vehicle of every approach, the power of always beneficial activity, the power of love pervading all realms, the power of love, all surpassing positive potential, the power of supreme knowledge, unobstructed by discrimination, and through the powers of wisdom, skillful means, and samadhi, may I achieve the perfect power of awakening, purifying the power of all contaminated actions, crushing the power of disturbing emotions at their root, diffusing the power of interfering forces. I shall perfect the power of the Bodhisattva practice. May I purify an ocean of worlds. May I free an ocean of beings. May I clearly see an ocean of Dharma. May I realize an ocean of pristine wisdom. May I purify an ocean of activities. May I fulfill an ocean of aspirations. May I make offering to an ocean of Buddhas. May I practice without discouragement for an ocean of eons. To awaken fully to this Bodhisattva way, I shall fulfill without exception all the reverse aspirations of the awakening practice of all Buddhas gone to freedom in 3 times everywhere. In order to practice exactly as the wise one called Samantabhadra, all embracing good, the elder brother of the sons and daughters of the Buddhas, I completely dedicate all this goodness. Likewise, may I dedicate, just as skillful Samatavajra, with pure body, speech, and mind, pure actions, and pure Buddha fields, I shall give rise to the aspirations of Manjushri, for this Bodhisattva practice of all embracing good, to perfect these practices without discouragement or pause in all future eons. May my good, pure activities be endless, my good qualities boundless, and through abiding in immeasurable activity, may I actualize infinite emanations. Limitless is the end of space, likewise limitless are living beings. Thus, limitless are karma and afflictions. May my aspirations reach be limitless as well. One may offer to the Buddhas all wealth and adornments of infinite worlds in 10 directions, and one may offer during eons some of those atoms of the world, even the greatest happiness of gods and humans. But whoever hears this extraordinary aspiration and longing for highest awakening, gives rise to faith just once, creates far more precious positive potential. Those who make this heartfelt aspiration for the Bodhisattva way will be free of all lower rebirths, free of harmful companions, and will quickly see Amitabha infinite light. And even in this very human life, they'll be nourished by happiness and have all conducive circumstances without waiting long. They'll become like Samatavajra himself. Those who give voice to extraordinary aspiration will quickly and completely purify the five boundless harmful actions created in the power of ignorance. Blessed with supreme knowledge, excellent body, family, attributes, and appearance, they will be invisible to vast and supreme forces and misleading teachers, and all three worlds will make offerings, going quickly to the noble Bodhi tree, and sitting there to benefit sentient beings, subduing all interfering forces. They will fully awaken and turn the wheel of Dharma. Have no doubt that complete awakening is a fully ripened result, comprehended only by a Buddha, of holding in mind by teaching, reading, or reciting this aspiration of the Bodhisattva practice. In order to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality as it is, and just like Samantabhadra as well, I completely dedicate all his goodness just as they did. With that dedication, which is praise is the greatest, by all the Buddhas gone to freedom in 3 times, I too dedicate all my roots of goodness for the attainments of the Bodhisattva practice. When the moment of my death arrives, by eliminating all obscurations and directly perceiving Amitabha, and I go immediately to Sukhavati, pure land of great joy. Having gone to Sukhavati, and actualize the meaning of these aspirations, fulfilling them all without exception, for the benefit of beings for as long as this world endures. Born from an extremely beautiful superlative lotus in the joyful land of Buddha's magnificent mandala, may I receive a prediction of my awakening directly from the Buddha Amitabha. Having received a prediction there, may I create vast benefit for beings throughout the 10 directions with 1 billion emanations by the power of wisdom. Through the small virtue I have accumulated by offering this prayer, the Bodhisattva practice, may all the positive aspirations of beings be fulfilled in an instant. Through creating limitless positive potential, by dedicating this prayer of Samatavajra deeds, may all beings drown this torrent of suffering into the presence of Amitabha. Through this kingdom of aspirations, which is greatest of the sublime, helping infinite wanderers in samsara. Through the accomplishment of the scripture dazzling with Samatavajra's practice, may suffering realms be utterly empty of all beings. Okay. So we also dedicate all the merits accumulated by ourselves and others over the 3 times, as well as all the merits accumulated by the numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas, for the long life, good health, and fulfillment of the holy wishes of all of our holy gurus, particularly His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lamas of Rinpoche, Gyanana True Rinpoche, Sukhan Sencha Rinpoche, Ken Rinpoche, Geshe Chini, and Kansa Rinpoche, and also for the long and healthy lives of all of our Dharma teachers, especially Geshe Sherab, Geshe Tenzin Dorje, Geshe Dorje Damdu, Geshe Tenzin Zerpa, Venerable Sangye Kado, Venerable Olivier Rossi, Venerable Tenzin Nanjo, and Venerable Rina Curtin, Venerable Tenzin Gache, Venerable Tuten Kanjo, and Venerable Tenzin Lexo, and the quick enlightenment of all of the kind benefactors of Root Institute, and that all of their holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And then we also dedicate all this merit for all those beings who are sick or experiencing other types of health issues. In particular, Dr. Ratin Roy, and then also Lim Siu Che and Tan Chung Gin. Okay. And then all the other names that we've received.
And Sonam Sherpa.
Sonam Sherpa?
Yes, Venerable. He's not well.
Okay. So all those, and then all the other beings who are currently sick, then we dedicate, like Shantideva did. So however many sick sentient beings there are, may they quickly be freed from all their ailments, and whatever diseases are in the world, may they never occur again. So now we also dedicate for all those beings who recently died. In particular, Devashish Panti, and then all of the other names that we received. And then more generally, all the beings who are currently in the bardo, may they instantly be reborn in the Pure Land where they can achieve enlightenment. Otherwise, may they achieve a perfect human rebirth, meet with the Mahayana teachings and the Mahayana Dharma, and achieve enlightenment in their very next lifetime. And then we also dedicate for all the Dharma projects, particularly all the FPNT projects here in India. May they be successful in their activities to benefit the Dharma and sentient beings. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we'll be continuing with this practice every Sunday. Okay, so Sunday at 7 o'clock Indian Standard Time. Yeah, there's a few other things that we have to do. So, but by all means, you now have 15 or even more of these practice sessions on video on YouTube that you can do, and you know, or you don't even need a video. You can just do it yourself, right? By now. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you to Shanti and Root Institute for organizing these. Thank you for all of you on the Zoom call, and also those tuning in on the YouTube for joining in. And yeah, especially for your continued work to benefit others. So thank you.
Thank you, Venerable. Thank you, everyone.